Paul Nashawati coming to you live from the show floor of KubeCon EU 2026. I'm here in the ZEDEDA booth with Sage. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Paul?
Great to have you. This is awesome. You know, edge intelligence is the new thing. I'm hearing about the Kubernetes solutions. Why don't we start with what are you showing off here at the booth?
Yes, great question. Yeah, so as you already alluded to, edge intelligence, edge AI is a big deal for us. We've actually been working a lot with our customers around how to bring AI models and AI agents to the edge. It was very clear for us right from the beginning it would have to be built on top of Kubernetes. So last year we had launched our Edge Kubernetes service, and so today and last week we've announced the Edge Intelligence platform, which leverages all those capabilities to now bring Edge AI at scale in any environment out there on your network.
Yeah, it's super interesting because, I mean, obviously the expansion of modernization from the core to edge to cloud is a big push. There's a big interest in doing unified management, understanding how this works. So from that perspective, can you talk about some of the customer challenges you're seeing?
Yeah, totally. Well, I think a couple of things. I mean, we've been working with some large enterprises around their large edge deployments. Well, in the early, and really what we've been seeing is an evolution of the applications they've been deploying at the edge. So if you kind of go back 5 years or more ago, we're still working with a lot of monoliths, maybe even Windows-based applications that had to sort of be onboarded on edge, and the data out of these applications would then be analyzed and processed as close as possible where they're generated. But what we're seeing over the last 5 years is more and more those applications became microservices, Kubernetes enabled, containerized, cloud native. And then what we noticed about a year or two ago, customers started putting more GPUs out there in the field. And basically started initially with more traditional YOLO models or vision models, for instance, to make sense of the video feeds and other data. Now we're seeing the agentic aspect take off, which is super exciting, where people are basically putting an agent with a video language action model. And in the old days, it used to take a lot of effort to write that code. Now you basically tell the agent, hey, just do this for me, or monitor this for me. So that is solving a big customer challenge of how do I get this innovation out there quicker? How do I rapidly respond to my requirements on the business side? And how do I do this at scale and secure and with enterprise-grade capabilities?
Yeah, and we're seeing that with the lines of businesses becoming the builders or the developers creating those applications. So it's important to make that easy, the ease of use. So let's talk about that, bridging the gap between heritage environments and new. Yeah. So that's a big kind of challenge we see a lot with organizations. What does that mean for you?
Well, what it means for us is that every deployment we'll go in, it's pretty heterogeneous. It has the application stack that gets deployed is not one type of app. There's just different types of applications, all developed maybe at different times. I'll give you a concrete example. One of our customers is Scalable, SLB. They do a lot of work in oil and gas exploration, drilling. A lot of the applications they use, they were maybe built 20 years ago, and they are powering the business today. They have been refactoring these applications. They have been modernizing them, but they needed a way to be able to improve those applications in the field over a course of years, not the big bang. Let's just go back in the back, build this new version of this older application, and then roll it out and hope it will go okay. They were trying to do incremental updates constantly to their stack. Yeah. And we've been a key part of enabling that for them to do that.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, I think that use case, that's pretty common in the industry. We see a lot of that where, either bridging the gap means encapsulation and just leaving that alone and then building new systems of engagement or refactoring like you're talking about. So totally understand, it makes sense. What should we also want to leave the audience here with?
Well, I think a couple of things. I mean, going back to the evolution of the application, I think we're in a really interesting time where humans used to build applications. The last couple of years, we've seen more and more AI help us build these applications with Copilot and now even with Cloud Code. But as we shift forward, the application and AI will be the same thing. And I think that's going to require a brand new way of how you now deploy all that intelligence out there. How do you secure it? I mean, think about like a Nemo Claw-like agent running out there. How do you make sure it's secure, it's only doing what it's supposed to do, it doesn't over time end up doing something it wasn't supposed to do, and all of that needs to still integrate with what we just talked about in enterprises, existing apps, existing data feeds, existing IT sensors that are going to be out there. So I think the biggest thing that I would give away to anybody right now looking at Edge is, think about it as a journey, innovate, but do that in a way where you're not pushing risk too much into the business. And make sure that I think at the end, whatever you do is that you're able to see this technology go from a pilot into actual production through the right architecture and the right platform.
Excellent. Final word. What do you want to leave the audience with?
Edge is the future, and it's going to be very intelligent.
So thank you for your time. This has been great. Paul Nashawati coming to you live from the show floor at KubeCon EU 2026. you.